Hello and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to do some needle felting. I haven't done this in a long time and I thought, it's time to do something again with the felt, and I actually got these foam bolts for a base this time, so I will save some material. Now, I've never used them. People say they help, but I'm not too sure how they handle lots of dubbing, so let's try. And after loading my tool and getting on my gear, let's get started. And my plan for today is to actually make a bird. So I'm first starting off with the head, and I'm going to attach the head and body bolts first. So I'm just fusing them with some felt that I lightly poke into the bolts. At first it didn't really want to adhere inside of the foam ball, but after using my single needle tool and poking it in a bit deeper, it worked. So I'm trying to shape out the body of the bird a bit more with some larger pieces of felt around the neck, and afterwards I'm just going to start on the belly. And here you can kind of start seeing what kind of bird I am making. And I'm just adding some of this really pretty yellow to the belly. Next up, it's time for the flight feathers, or the tail of the bird, I guess. And for that I'm just using some of the yellow felt, bunching it up and putting it into a triangle shape before I'm attaching it to the body. And I also decided to add some blue ready-made felt, so the craft store kind of felt, just to, shape out the flight feathers a little bit more. In the end it will totally be covered up, but I wanted to try and at least make it like a bit more thin and feathery looking. And then I decided to shape out the belly a little bit more, so I'm just using more of this yellow felt. And it looks pretty rough right now, but I will go over everything with the needle later to make sure it's more evenly felted. also going to add some of this off-white wool to the head to make the base color a bit more prominent and to hide the fact that this is around a styrofoam ball. which by the way is already starting to disintegrate. There's tiny white flakes everywhere from the ball. I don't know if there's a special kind of styrofoam pulp for felting, but this really doesn't seem to be it. And after coloring the head in a bit more, I'm just making the wings. And this bird is getting a mix of bluish wings, so just adding the rough shapes to the sides and to the tail and the back. And here you can see what I meant when I said I wanted to make a thin base for the tail feathers, because I'm just felting it onto the tiny piece of ready-made felt that I added on the bottom. Time to add the face details, and for that I'm using this darkish purplish tone, and I'm just adding some tiny thin strips of felt and feeding it onto the head form, and I'm trying to make it look a bit even, kind of like the marks the bird already have. And yeah, basically just going around making sure I position it right, because this will kind of also be the guide of where I will insert the doll eyes later. And afterwards I'm just going all around the head and fixing up the markings and the lines where they are on my extra reference photo. Also an important tip if you want to make colorations and stuff of real life animals: use references, guys. I personally really like to use references, even if it's a cartoonish style of a certain animal, because it just helps me keep the shape in mind and the colors. For the coloration of the wings, I decided to try a different approach on where I'm not directly felting the colors on, but I'm kind of like roughly feathering them out with the raw wool before I felt them, and then I feathered on, which resulted in this really neat random coloration, and the colors actually blend a little bit more. Since, you know, this bird isn't just blue, but it has some purples and greens in the feather sheen too, so I decided, you know, why not try this and add them, and I think it turned out pretty well. And afterwards I'm just going around making sure that everything is neat and felted and nothing is loose. And with that, the bird is actually finished for the felting part. I made this beak out of foam clay, and I didn't show it on camera because it was a really simple process that I just made while I was sculpting other things. And then I'm just using some super glue. You can use fabric glue, but frankly super glue holds better. And afterwards it's just painting time with some black acrylics. And oh, by the way, the eyes I'm using are just simple doll eyes, and I forgot to film how I insert them. For the feet I'm just using some wires. I was debating on wrapping it in some of the felt, but I decided not to because I really like the look of the raw copper wires. And I just basically shaped them into feet forms and stuck them into the bird's belly, and here you have the finished bird. And it actually stands on its own. I'm really happy how it turned out. I think it's super cute, and I'm happy that I finally could felt something again. The only thing I have to remark is that the foam balls really don't work as a base. They crumbled and the model inside is super soft and squishy, and yeah. From the outside it looks good, but it's like really soft, and if you touch it on the head it will deform immediately, so I had to shape it every time I want to position it a little bit. But you know, it's fine. Since it's a piece of decoration, I won't be touching it much anyways. So, you know, I can live with it, and it was worth a try in the end. I hope you enjoyed watching me felt this cute little bird, and I hope it inspires you to also make some birds. Maybe some that you can find in your garden also. And just put them up as decoration, or maybe it inspires you to try felting for the first time. I hope you have a great day. Bye!